Welcome back to this video, man. You guys can probably hear the sound is a little bit different. We are mic'd up today, right? First things first, appreciate everybody watching these videos. Like last two videos, I think like they've done like 1,000 views in like 5 or 6 days, which is pretty crazy to be honest. And the comment sections, everyone messaging me, getting a lot of value from it. So the aim is to carry on doing these, right? Because I feel like my other style of content is obviously day in the life videos. If you follow me on TikTok, day in the life videos, sort of speaking videos and various stuff like that. But this is where you're actually going to gain the most value, sort of watching and learn direct from this whiteboard. Okay, so today's topic, well, what I want to go over is how to actually get successful and change your life, right? The successful part, I'm still in the process, right? I wouldn't say I'm where I'm meant to be, but I've gotten as far as, I'm happy with so far to some extent. I'm content, you know. But I'll probably say the biggest thing that I have done is change my life, right? Some people are probably watching this video and they might know me from like back in 2018, 2019, and they're wondering, how did this guy do it? Well, the change was drastic, right? I'm a completely different person than I was back then, right? And it all comes down to a few things and a few stuff that has to change for you to really change as an individual. And then naturally, you're going to make more money as well, right? The concept that people don't understand is you as an individual, right? You reflect onto whatever it is you want to do financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, however it is, right? So your input equals your output, okay? So if you're broke, right, it just equals to a broke input, right? Slash a broke individual mindset. I'll do broke mindset, right? So let's say, for example, you don't have money and you're blaming everything around you. It's not anything around you's fault. It's your fault, right? As an individual, your circumstances only reflect who you are as an individual, right? So if you're fat, it means you're eating fat, right? If you're muscular, it means you're lifting weights, right? If you don't have money, it means you're not doing the right stuff to get money. And you can blame everyone else around you. You can blame the government, you can blame politics, you could blame, opportunities in the market, you could blame the fact that you're in uni and you're not working, or you could blame every excuse you make is a valid excuse, but it still doesn't change the fact that whatever you put in is what you get out, right? So that's the first concept that I want you guys to understand. Okay. Your life will only change when you change. So if you keep doing what you've been doing, you will keep getting what you've been getting. Because it's only crazy to think that you're going to wake up one day and don't change anything and your life's going to change, you're going to make money. It doesn't work like that, right? It just doesn't. You look at yourself, what you've been doing up until this point is going to where you are. So for you to change from that point to wherever you want to go, you need to pick up the habits that will actually transform you from where you currently are to where you need to go. So that's what we're going to break down in this section of the videos, right? So if we're keeping it a buck here, success is broad. Success isn't just money. Success is whatever it is you want to claim it as, right? And this framework, I sort of have it mentally now. It's ingrained in my head to the point where it's like I use it for everything, right? And if you can really understand this, you can use it for everything in terms of making money, whatever it is you want to do, right? So we'll just put it as a bracket of success. So the aim is obviously success, right? But then the thing people don't understand about success, they think it happens overnight. It genuinely doesn't, right? The way I sort of explain success is series and seasons of self-discipline, or we'll say a season or series, we'll go series of good habits, right? Because the habits that you perform every single day, every month, they all add up, right? There's a sort of law of accumulation. I actually got this from, I don't know if it was Bob Proctor. It was one of these old heads. But essentially, the law of accumulation means everything adds up. You might think it's irrelevant, but it's not actually irrelevant because everything adds up. Everything makes sense, right? So your habits, whether good or bad, equals whether you're successful or you're a failure, right? So if you're waking up every morning and the first thing you're doing is scrolling your phone, or the first thing you're, doing when you wake up is literally watch YouTube or play music, like you don't even sit down to really, think of what you want to get done for the day, that's a reflection of what you're going to get, either failure or success, okay? So the first thing to understand is success is a series of good habits. And the reason why I like to call it series is it's not going to happen overnight. Like, you're never going to get it right the first time. It is a series, because the idea is you get it right, you get it wrong, you get it right, you get it wrong. Even me right now, I still get it right, I still get it wrong, right? I have seasons and moments where I fall off, then I come back, then I fall off. It is a series of good habits, right? So the idea is you have either good or bad habits. So if I put it here, similar to what we talked about on heaven or hell in the last video. So you have a series of, let's say you have a bucket, right? This is the bucket here. So you have bad habits, right? What you want to do is you want to get good habits, right? And then just put good habits in here. So let's say you had like ×5 bad habits in here, and you want to get maybe good habits ×7. And that would eventually turn this water into good habits. Imagine the water was like black or like white, transparent, right? And you wanted to dilute the solution. The idea is not to, have it perfect. The idea is to have more good habits than bad habits in the bucket. So it neutralizes the color from black to transparent, for example, right? So once you have this understanding that success is a series of good habits, you don't trip when you fall off, because the idea isn't to get it perfect. The idea is to understand that it's a process, right? So mentally, you don't want to start beating yourself up when you get it wrong. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, for example, I had a guy that, I might need to bleep this out, but he masturbates a lot, right? And I just said to him, listen, the idea isn't to get rid of the sort of lust and the constant drive to feel like you need something like that in your life, right? The idea is to want it less than you do want it, and to replace the times where you don't want it with good habits, right? So, because I personally think, for me personally, right, I think people that fall into lust or have extreme addiction with, for one, sex and food, if they can transfer that energy into something productive, they can be the most powerful people in this world, in my personal opinion. But that's another conversation for another day, right? Because I think addiction is a very beautiful thing. It just needs to be put into something that's actually productive and positive in the long run. Okay, so topic for another day. But essentially, the idea is not to eradicate your bad habits. Of course, you want to eradicate the bad habits, but the idea is to actually just do more good habits than bad habits. And then over time, your water would become transparent to the point that you're like, actually, let me get rid of these bad habits because I want the water to be a bit more clearer, right? And bad habits is only a reflection of how bored you are. So if you're not bored, you can't do any of these bad habits. Like, if you fill up your time with good stuff that you're happy to be doing and you're productive every single day, you don't even have time to think of these bad habits. Because if you look at all the bad habits, wherever it is you might be doing, binge eating, flipping, masturbation, whatever, any bad habit that you can think of, right? It all comes down to the idea that you're bored and you're not busy doing other productive stuff. So pick up good habits and put that into the water, get rid of the black section of that water, make it transparent, and then eventually the bad habits just leave, because you genuinely don't see any benefit from it. And you can actually feel it when I eat shit now, right? I feel it internally. I'm like, I shouldn't really be doing this, right? And I can feel it in my system, right? And then after a second, I'm not going to do it. When I relapse, I'm like, shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? And I can feel it internally. I can feel sort of like the life gets sucked away from me. And that's the aim. It's like, you want to get to a point where like the bad habits actually seem disgusting to you, to the point that you wouldn't even want to touch it. Okay, so that's the first sort of sequence within this whole thing that I'm going over. So success is a series of good habits, and habits is learned behavior. Okay, and when I say learned behavior, this is stuff that you've done over a period of time that you now see as normal, right? Stuff that you've learned, stuff that's ingrained into your subconscious mind, and you now see it as standard stuff to you, right? Because you're waking up every morning, you're scrolling, you're on your phone for 8-10 hours every single day, right? You're just doing whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You don't work out, you eat shit. Like, I'm even speaking to myself right now for the last 6-8 months, right? You don't work out, you eat shit, you're just constantly not working towards your goals. You're just watching Netflix every day because that is where you feel most comfortable, right? And that is what this is. Habit is just learned behavior. It's what you've learned all the time, right? And to break out of this cycle, you need to learn new behaviors. So back to this sort of drawing that I've got here, right? The behaviors is the same. You've got learned behaviors in the tank, and what you want to do, right? Whether they're good or bad, you want to put behaviors in that will positively make that water transparent rather than black over a period of time. Okay, so think of this drawing and just think of these first two, right? So success is a series of habits, and your habits are just learned behaviors. And then what we're gonna then go into is understanding how learned behaviors, okay, where do they come from? Okay. Learned behaviors are literally just taught behaviors. These are behaviors that have been taught from your environment, your surroundings, your friends, your families, what you watch, what you listen to, what you take in, what you read, what you don't read, right? It is taught behavior. It is what you've taught yourself. It's what you taught your subconscious mind. It is what you filled into your brain consciously, and that was now ingrained into your subconscious. That this now actually becomes your reality. But in actuality, that isn't your reality. I just doubled realities then. But in actual facts, that is not your reality. It is just what you've been taught and what you believe to be your reality. And thinking back to the last video, in this situation, you want to step out of this, right? And then actually look at what you're doing and how you're behaving and be like, is this actually behaviors that I want to align with? Is this stuff that I actually want to do? You know what I'm saying? Is fat being something that I want to be? You know, is masturbating being something that I want to be? Is being broke being something that I want to be? Is being angry all the time something that I want to be? Is not being able to talk to girls because I'm shy, or is not being able to close sales call because I'm scared a habit that I want to be? And these all come down to stuff you've been told, right? In this case, it could be, you know, in your family, you're big boned, you know, in your family, it's like, oh, you're being told as you grow up, oh, save money, make sure you save money, buy a house first. You know, you don't want to rent, you don't want to do this, and it's like, it might not align with what you genuinely believe, right? Because it's taught behavior is now your learned behavior, and now it's a habit that's now limiting your success, okay? So what you want to do with this is you want to actually review everything you think you believe in, and over time you start to see that it's just taught behavior. It's something that you've been told, something you've been taught, something you've learned over time that you might not subscribe to, okay? So it's very important to make sure that you understand the sequence, right? Okay, so when it comes to taught behaviors, how do you actually go about changing them, right? How do you go about teaching someone something? How do you go about ingraining an idea within someone? How do you go about, you know, learning whatever it is you do want to learn, learning how to live like the person you do want to live like? Practiced behavior, okay? So in this situation, it is literally practicing the behaviors, literally, the behaviors that you think aligns with who you want to be, right? So that could be waking up in the morning, right? It could be, you know, not scrolling on your phone. It could be working out all the time, learning that skill you want to learn, reaching out to 50 people every day, getting up and picking the phones and ringing those potential clients, right? Speaking to people with you know, confidence, reading books, you know, writing every day, going on walks, going to the gym, eating clean, right? These are practice behavior. Right, I keep sneezing, my hay fever has beat me up. But practice behavior is literally just practicing the characteristics and the traits that you do feel like you want to live by every single day, right? And you keep practicing this behavior until it becomes learned behavior, and then that becomes the habits that you perform, and then that reflects onto either you're successful or you're a failure, right? And there's a lot of people that say fake it till you make it. I don't think fake it till you make it. I think genuinely do it. Like there's no faking. Like just do what you need to get done. When I started my entire journey, I hopped on TikTok and I started filming myself. Wake up early, go to the gym, do work, make money, and it's like I practiced that behavior over a period of time. Obviously, thankfully to the accountability of a camera being there as well, that was very beneficial, I must say. So if you do struggle, just film it and then you might actually stick to it because everyone's watching you. But that's beside the point, right? You want to practice the behavior that you think aligns with who you want to be. And then over time, that will become your learned behavior. And then that would transfer into the habits that you do subconsciously. And eventually, it would lead to success, right? Because success, once again, back to the start, success is only a reflection of who you are, right? So whatever you do equals who you are. So if you practice who you want to be, you would naturally end up being who you are. Okay, so that is the entire equation, right? And this applies for everything. So let me put it into context. You want to make money, right? All you need to do is practice making money. It sounds so easy, But people go about their day normally. They don't invest into themselves. They don't learn anything from anyone. They don't watch videos. They don't spend time learning something. They don't even, like, they just don't do anything and they're like, yeah, I'm going to become a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. Like, it genuinely does. I don't know in what world you think that works. It doesn't, right? So it's practice behavior. You actually practice making money. You invest into the crypto. You do the trading. You do the marketing. You get a coach. You get ebooks. You watch videos on YouTube. You actually invest into something that will benefit you, right, in the long run. That is what practice behavior is. You practice the behavior. Faking it till you make it. It's not really faking it. You just do it. You literally just do it, right? And then once you practice the behavior, it becomes learned behavior. Now you know how to trade, right? Now you know how to build funnels. You know how to do email marketing. You know how to do copyright, right? You know how to run paid ads, for example, right? You know how to create content, right? And that becomes a habit that you just do every single day because you've learned it. It's learned behavior. It's now a habit that's ingrained into you. And then over time, you will be successful, right? Same thing with the gym, right? You get a personal trainer, you get a coach, you watch videos on YouTube, you meal prep every Monday, you meal prep every Sunday, right? You make sure you don't eat out. Like you literally do the activities, right? That ends up being learned behavior and becomes a habit. And then eventually you will be successful. It is like literally that simple. And I think when you really understand this, right, you understand the equation, right, where it goes from your success is only a reflection of your habits, right? And your habits is what you've learned over time. And what you've learned over time is what you've practiced and what you've taught yourself over a period of time, right? And keep in mind, the idea isn't success is one diamond, like it's not a straight line, right? It's a series, right? It's a series of good habits. So from here to here, you're gonna get it wrong so many times. Like it's gonna frustrate. You're gonna get it wrong a lot of times if I'm being real, right? But the idea is it's a series, right? It's not one time. It's not one flipping training plan. It's not 1 month of the gym. It's not one course. It's not one video. It's not one business strategy. It's not one offer. Like it's not one funnel. It's not one email sequence. It's not like it can't be one thing. It never is one thing, right? So when people think they're gonna get into one thing and then it works, it doesn't work like that, right? It's a series of good habits, right? And these habits are a reflection of what you've learned and what you practiced over a period of time. Okay? And that right there is how to get successful and change your life, right? You can buy everything you want. You can buy all the course you want. You can buy whatever it is, right? But this is the main equation, right? It's practice behavior over a period of time that ends up becoming a series of good habits that leads into your success. You guys make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you gain some, Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you gain some value from this video. Peace.